Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. We are playing as the WWE, and we are currently about to head into the Go Home show to WWE Payback. That's right, Payback is this week. So, hopefully I'll be able to get that uploaded before this week ends. I am going to try and do that. Raw is usually the most difficult one to book because it's 3 hours. Once I get the SmackDown's kind of difficult because you're just not really sure what to do. NXT is simple. It's pretty basic. Either way, getting into stuff here that we don't really need to get into. Let's go ahead and run the Go Home show, nerds and geeks. All right. Well, this didn't do too good. And by the way, before anyone asks, this is not Maria Hera's call-up or Mandy Leon's call-up. I guess I haven't set her to be on NXT only, so I figured why not? This is why not. 35E plus. Solid in-ring action, non-existent crowd heat. AJ Lee defeating Maria Hera with the Shining Wizard. They didn't click. They did not have good chemistry at all, so that definitely did not help. Oh, AJ has a poor gimmick. By the way, this is the pre-show, not the legit show. Moving on to the main event of the pre-show, 61C, way better than the previous match. Some good action, but not much weighing heat. Miz and Mizdow defeating The New Day when Miz defeated Woods with the skull-crushing finale. I feel bad for what I'm doing with The New Day here. Like, I just am burying them, to be honest. But I kind of got New Day before they were good. And I think I edited them a little bit, so they could be good, but I just am focusing on other things right now. Other two players may understand what I'm talking about. They don't have your attention at the moment, so unfortunately that's their position. Alright, but that was the main event of the pre-show. Moving on to the start of Monday Night Raw, we get a 72B-. Wish this would have done a little better, but what can you do, too? 72B- isn't too bad. Show starts right away with the sound of the crow going off. You know, the typical Sting iconic sound of whatever his theme, whatever it is. And out comes the icon Sting, makes his way to the ring, grabs a mic, and before he can get a word in, the crowd begins to, chant his name. Sting, 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 whatever. Sting then takes the mic and lets out a big woo! It's woo! One of those things. The crowd responds, of course, with their own woo. And then he takes the mic again and he begins to thank the crowd for their support throughout his career from WCW all the way up until now. And then he says, but speaking of WCW, I just want to make it clear that this is not about WCW. No matter how much Triple H wants to make it about WCW, it's not and never has been about WCW. But that doesn't mean my intentions aren't the same. We all know back in WCW there was a little group that became a big problem. The cancer of WCW. And the thing that led to the death of WCW. Of course, I'm talking about the NWO. I spent my final years trying to save that company, and I failed. But I'll be damned if I'm going to fail again. I didn't mean to put Sting there. Triple H, you are the cancer of the WWE. You and your authority. And I'm going to save this place before it. And I wasn't able to fit the whole thing in, but luckily I just finished the promo here. By the way, Jerry Lawler retired. We're still keeping him on commentary, but he retired. So he says, you and your authority, and I'm going to save this place before... I wrote it here. Before it dies. So Hunter, Seth, if you want this championship back, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. Because I'm not giving you back the most prestigious title in our industry, or I'm not giving back the most prestigious title in our industry to the cancers that trying to kill it. So Sting getting out his not only his emotions, but letting everyone know his intentions and why exactly he's back and he's here in the WWE. It's not about WCW. It's not about him trying to avenge the loss. It's about him trying to save the WWE from the cancer that is the authority. So not too bad of an angle to start off, but there we go, a 78B, super satisfied to see that. Sting's done talking, the music of Triple H hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. He's in the ring, and I would imagine, him and Sting have a tense stare down first, just staring each other down. The WrestleMania opponents, of course. Triple H then takes the mic and says, Sting, I've had enough of your games. I've tried to save you, Sting. I really have. You know, it's funny that you come out here and you talk about cancer when you look like you should be retired and sitting in an old folks' home. But you know what, Sting? You want this match so bad that I'm going to give it to you. But don't come out here and act like you're trying to save the company. You know that it eats you up inside that you've never held the WWE Championship, so I'm going to give you a shot. This Sunday at Payback, it'll be Sting versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. That's, of course, if you win your match tonight. You see, Sting, you just can't get a WWE title match, especially when your only match in the WWE is a loss. But I'm a fair guy, and since you're old, I decided that tonight you'll team with Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler to take on Kane, The Big Show, and Rusev in six-man tag team action. And if you win, you get your title match. If you lose, you don't get your title match. But here's the catch, Sting. Here's the catch. You need to be the one that wins. Ambrose and Ziggler can't be the one that pins someone here. You need to be the one that pins, makes someone tap out. You need to be the victor here. But here's the other catch. Ambrose and Ziggler can lose this match for you. All it takes is a loss for you not to get your title, but you need to be the one that wins this match to prove that you are worthy of becoming getting a WWE Championship match. Of course, I added that little bit on. I didn't write it in the stuff there, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say from that. So I would imagine this being a pretty tense, stare down, and Sting, of course, saying, fine, you're on, let's do this. And setting up for our main event tonight, Sting, Nerds and Geeks, making his Monday Night Raw debut, something even WWE hasn't done. Suck on that, Triple H. Sting's going to be in Monday Night Raw action tonight, Nerds and Geeks. It might be a six-man tag match, but I got to let it stew a little bit. You can't have a Sting singles match on free TV. You gotta let it stew, Nerds and Geeks. Either way, though, super satisfied with the two promos here. Unfortunately, the Seth Rollins angle didn't get affected here. Darn it. I should have either added Seth in here. I thought Triple H was a part of the angle. I guess I didn't do it because of the authority. Either way, the announcers put over the fact that later on tonight that we will see the Wyatt family take on Roman Reigns and perhaps a mystery partner if Reigns is able to find said mystery partner. Not a bad rating for that. I kind of expected it to be a little lower, so I'm actually not angry about that at all. And then we go on to the announcers putting over that later time. We will see the debut, the first match that Sting has ever wrestled on Monday Night Raw, as he'll team up with Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler to take on the authorities, Rusev, Big Show, and Kane. And then we see John Cena making his way down to the ring. Uh-oh, what's that mean? Only one thing, Nerds and Geeks. 79B here, and we see John Cena and Bryan, of course, so I wonder what's happening. What do you mean? That's stupid. I'm not going to act like I don't know what's happening. I know what's happening. I bet you guys are wondering what's happening. John Cena makes his way down to the ring, and once he's in the ring, he takes a mic, hypes up the crowd, and he goes on to say, before we get to the fun part, I've got some bad news to talk about. And the bad news is Sheamus. Sheamus, this Sunday, you and I go to war. No matter who accepts my challenge tonight, I promise that I will retain my title tonight, and I will see you at Payback ready and willing to go to war. But that's this Sunday. And according to my watch, the John Cena U.S. Open starts now. You want some? Come get some. And then the music of Daniel Bryan hits, Nerds and Geeks. It blares over, not splares, but blares, I just don't, whatever. It blares over the speakers, and the crowd erupts as Daniel Bryan, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, makes his way to the ring, takes the mic, and he says, you know, John, it's not wise to make promises you can't keep, because last I checked, anyone can accept your challenge, even someone who's already a champion. I also imagine he would tap or, raise up his Intercontinental Championship. And then he goes, and the last time you and I clashed, things didn't go well for you. So what do you say? Are you ready to dance? And then the two shake hands as the ref rings the bell, Nerds and Geeks. So after weeks of seeing Cena and Bryan team up, John Cena just days before Payback in his match against Sheamus issues his open challenge, and none other than the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Daniel Bryan accept the United States Championship match. All right. That's a I'm excited about booking that. I'm not gonna lie. That's my two big stars though. I'm expecting this to not go too like super well because it's kind of got a gimmick to it, but we'll get to it. So Daniel Bryan accepting the U.S. Open challenge, and we're starting off Monday Night Raw, opening Monday Night Raw, the opening match. Cena versus Bryan with the U.S. title on the line, and it gets a 76B. That's not too bad. Could do better, but with 10 minutes and some gimmicks going on here, that's fine. So we had a match that had excellent in-ring action and great heat from the audience. That's awesome. John Cena drew with Daniel Bryan with 10 minutes and 16 following a double disqualification. So what is being a great match right now, nerds and geeks, ends with Sheamus and Bad News Barrett coming out and attacking Cena, attacking Bryan, ending the match before it can even really, get underway and get exciting. I mean, 10 minutes is a lot of time, but for these two, you just want to see them go on forever, I would assume. Cena did improve in technical, and by the way, I would like excellent in-ring action. That's amazing. Could you imagine if we just did this match for not dealing with the pressure to try and... That doesn't make any sense. Oh no, I'm going to cough. Hold on, nerds and geeks. Hopefully I don't cough in your guys' ear. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, well, there we go. Not too bad. And then we go to afterwards. Wow, a 77B. That's freaking great. I'm happy with that. The continuing beatdown of just Sheamus and Barrett beating down on Cena, beating down on Bryan, and then just standing on their, limbless, not limbless, what am I saying, standing over, their unmoving bodies. They're just sitting there knocked out, posing with both the Intercontinental United States Championship, showing that, they're going to be the champions after this Sunday. Unfortunately, Barrett's still performing poorly in these segments, but Bryan came across well. 77B, I'm pretty happy with that. We then go on to a 58C-. Roman Reigns, that's not too bad either for this segment. Roman Reigns is backstage being interviewed about his upcoming match against the Wyatts tonight, and if he can find a partner. Roman responds by saying, it's no secret I don't have many friends around here. And my one real friend, my brother, Ambrose, he's got his own problems right now. So if it comes down to it, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take on the Wyatts all by my... But before he can finish... R-Truth. Who else, nerds and geeks? R-Truth approaches him and says, no, you won't, dog. 2 times you saved my hide from those dirty Wyatts, so tonight, I've got your back. Roman, of course, says, are you sure you want to do this? The Wyatts are dangerous. You've seen what they can do. And then Truth says, trust me, man, I know how dangerous the Wyatts are. But I've got a bone to pick, so let's go do this, dog. So Truth, coming to Roman's, aid. Roman had his back the past couple times, and Truth says, you need a tag team partner? I'm your partner tonight, dude. Let's do this. Not too bad, though. 58C, I'm, pretty happy with that. I didn't write anything out for this because I was just trying to fill up time, so I just did this. But I do have a story of what I'm going to do here. I just kind of wanted to finish booking. So this is pretty much Triple H and Seth are joking around backstage. Triple H is, laughing and having a good time. Seth comes in. I would imagine Cesaro and Kid, following him. And he's having a good time. And he's, they're joking around about how Sting stands no chance. I mean, come on. He's in the ring with Big Show, Kane, and Rusev. 3 monsters. There's no way he has a chance tonight. And Triple H is saying, you know what, champ? You go. You take the night off. You guys go and have fun. And I'll deal with this. So just a little fun segment. Got an 80B. Can't complain with that. We then go on to just a simple match here. Oh, look at this. Stardust and Heath Slater have great chemistry. We might have to abuse that. A 61C here, too. You can't complain with that for just being a short match. Extremely short match. Stardust defeating Slater with, 5 minutes with a beautiful disaster. And, wow, this did pretty good, too. I was expecting these to be like D's, to be honest. Wow. And then afterwards, Stardust is looking to, add some more pain on Heath Slater. And out comes Ryback, chasing off Stardust. They have their little bit of issues. And then Ryback takes the mic, 53C-, not too bad. And straight up says, you know what, Stardust? I've had it up to here with you. I've had it up with your shenanigans. You have a problem with me. I have a problem with you now. Meet me this Sunday. Payback. Let's do this. And Stardust hasn't accepted, of course, but we're most likely going to see Ryback and Stardust at Payback in the pre-show. Not too shabby here. I was kind of a little worried with this, thinking, oh, this is going to bog it down, but here we go. We then go on to a 73 B minus. Triple H approaches, Triple H approaches Triple H. Triple H approaches Big Show, Kane, and Rusev, pretty much psyching them up for tonight, saying, tonight is a big night. You guys can't fail me. You can't let Sting win, and I don't want Ambrose and Ziggler to win. And he pretty much says, don't disappoint me. That's all. Kane is also improving in acting. That's a little late in your career, but we'll take what we can get. 41D, no matter how much I shove this angle down people's throats, apparently the women can't get over right now. We'll work on it, though, nerds and geeks. We're getting there. AJ Lee is backstage, about to be interviewed, but before she can, Paige interrupts her. She says, glad to see you're keeping my title warm. And I'm feeling gracious tonight, AJ, so why don't you head to the ring and find a good seat, because I'm going to issue an open challenge to anyone in the world just so I can show you that this is my house. And AJ just says, all right, fine. So, of course, the two women who don't get along at all, Paige pretty much just wanted to show up AJ saying, you're not the best here, and I'm going to show you tonight that this is my house. So we then go on to a 42D, which does better than the 41D, which can't complain, which is, now I don't really know why I put this in, because Paige knew AJ was going to be out there, but Paige is in the ring about to compete, and then AJ's just coming out to scout her. Hey, this doesn't do too bad. A 50. Why did the other ones? Is it AJ? It could be. Huh. I'll have to test that out, nerds and geeks. I don't know. That's interesting. I was not a. Huh. All right. So we got a 59C here. That's interesting. And Paige is issuing the open challenge, saying this is her house, and any woman in the back that wants to take her on, here's your chance. And then none other than 48. Fuck you. Victoria accepts the match. Paige is out here waiting for her, and then all of a sudden we hear is, I am not the lady to mess with. Whoop! And Victoria makes her return to the WWE. And everyone's a little shocked, and she pretty much says, I'm back, and you need an opponent? Let's do this, sister. So we have our match, Victoria, the returning Victoria, taking on Paige in a 51D plus. And, oh, man, you're kidding me. A 51D plus isn't, I mean, it's not good, but it's not that bad of a grade. But what irritates me here is that Paige and Victoria just don't seem to click, and it made for an awkward bout. Well, since, they don't click and we're most likely never going to have them take each other one-on-one again, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Paige and Victoria were actually going to have a feud later on in the year. There's going to be a whole Paige, being a young gun, thinking she's better than everyone. And Victoria pretty much saying, well, you're not. Let's, I beat you once before and I can do it again. And this was going to be kind of the start of it. But we're never going to get to it. So that sucks. But that's the randomness of Total Extreme Wrestling. All right. Here's a little bit of a fun segment that I'm hoping you guys will enjoy as well, because I enjoyed writing it. I mentioned on SmackDown's recording that we are going to be doing Miz and Mizdow going to acting classes together, and here's the first class segment. So Miz and Mizdow show up to their first acting class. Miz begins to give Mizdow some pointers before going in. Of course, just typical, this is what you need to do, Mizdow, don't do this. I've been here before, trust me, just, be blah, 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 stuff like that. And as they enter in, Miz, of course, goes up to the owner of the establishment. Let's just say her name's Cassandra. Cassandra, how are you? Mwah, mwah. So lovely to see you and all that. And Cassandra is just like, yep. Clearly, is just not too excited that the Miz is back in here. But then she sees Mizdow, and she's like, but I see you brought Mizdow here, and I've heard great things about you, Mizdow. And then she takes Mizdow's arm, and they're talking and all that. And, she starts walking Miz now in, and as Miz is just sitting there like, wait up for me, Cassandra, come on, you're your favorite pupil, let's go. So nice little segment here where we're getting to see like how Miz is starting to might start getting a little frustrated. Let me know in the comments what you think of these two because I like writing these and I think they're a lot of fun and kind of funny, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. A 68C plus for a rating is not too bad at all. We then go on to Randy Orton, who's just doing a generic interview on how much he hates Rusev, pretty much talking about how Rusev cost him his WWE Championship opportunity, and this Sunday he's going to cost Rusev his career. But before Orton can finish, we get a 72B minus where Rusev, Kane, and Big Show just beat down on Orton backstage, taking him down, thus so he can help Sting out most likely tonight. We then go on to a 59C. The Usos are backstage being ready to be interviewed, but before they can start, they're interrupted by the Upper Cats and Seth Rollins, and the five of them start exchanging words. I imagine, the Upper Cats and Rollins start picking on the Usos, and the Usos fire back, and then Rollins steps in and says, wait a minute, do you know who you're talking to? These are the WWE Tag Team Champions. I'm the WWE Champion. And you two better know your place, or, he can't finish even saying place before Jimmy Uso interrupts and says, soon to be former champion. You see, come this Sunday, not only are we going to beat your boys for those tag titles, but you're going to get schooled by the Stinger. Rollins then, of course, responds and saying, is that what you think? And then Jimmy Uso just says, yeah. And if it was me or my brother getting a shot at your title, we'd beat you too. Rollins then, of course, is now furious and says, oh, really? Why don't you two back that up? Why don't you find the partner and meet me and the WWE Tag Team Champions in the ring next? So, Rollins and Cesaro Rollins and the Upper Cats, I should say, continuing on having their fun. But they pushed the Usos a little far there, and we're getting an impromptu six-man tag match next. And the Usos might not even be able to find a partner. They're not going to have a lot of time. It's nice to see that both Naomi and Natalya helped their husbands in this segment. And Seth Rollins' performance stood out as being good, so can't complain that. Jimmy Uso's also improving in acting, so very satisfied with that angle. We then go on to the match where they did find a partner. Who else but Neville, Nerds and Geeks? So the Usos found the partner. No use of doing, here's our partner. I imagine Seth Rollins and them come out, and then you have the Usos, and then we're waiting for their partner, and then here comes Neville. But either way, we had a match that had some good action, not much weighing heat. Neville and the Usos actually getting the victory here, Nerds and Geeks, by defeating the Authority in 10 minutes and 23 seconds when Jimmy Uso defeated Tyson Kidd with the Samoan Wrecking Ball. So the Usos getting a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of an up, I guess, showing up the Upper Cats and especially Seth Rollins here. I actually thought about having Jimmy beat Rollins, but I didn't want to do that. I was like, all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we do have quite a few worker improvements. Jimmy Uso's improving in flying and performance. Jey Uso's improving in flying and performance. Tyson Kidd is improving in performance, and Neville is improving in flying. So, all in all, this was a good match. 72B minus too. That's gonna, definitely satisfied. Thank you for that, because that's gonna push along the tag team title. And this did great too. A 78B. Sting just approaching Ziggler and Ambrose, psyching them up. The three of them, exchanging words, and basically Ambrose and Ziggler say, "We got your back tonight, dude." We then go on to our tag team match. We saw earlier in tonight that Roman Reigns, or R-Truth, oh man, damn it. Well, luckily I wasn't planning on continuing this as a team. But R-Truth offered his aid to Roman Reigns. So this got a 61C. Can't complain with that at all. And a match had some good action, average heat as well. The Wyatt family defeating Roman Reigns in Truth when Luke Harper defeated R-Truth by pinfall with the discus clothesline. Harper was off his game tonight. Why, Harper? Why? Bray doing some good work, and here was the thing I was alluding to. Roman and Truth don't work well as a team. We're finding out a lot of negative chemistry tonight, Nerds and Geeks. Don't work well as a team, but like I was saying before, I didn't really have any intentions of continuing this. I was just kind of all like a one-off thing. And R-Truth's improving in performance, and Luke Harper's improving in performance. So, there you go. We then just go to a beatdown afterwards where The Whites just start beating down on Roman and R-Truth, leaving them there. And I imagine Bray screaming in Roman's face, "I'll see you at Payback, blah, blah, blah," before kissing him and then hit him with Sister Abigail. Jump! I did that on purpose. I just want people to know, in case no one caught it. So we go on to our main event of the night. Seth Rollins comes down to do commentary for the next match. Got an 80 for that, too. That's awesome. Going to be on the comm table. And the main event does a 65C here. And about that featured great action and average heat. Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Sting defeating the Authority in 13 minutes and 9 seconds when Sting defeated the Big Show by pinfall. And the reason I chose Big Show is because of the WCW connection they had. And we also saw Randy Orton run and attack Rusev, so that beatdown did nothing but just frustrate the Viper even more as he got rid of Rusev. And I imagine Ambrose and Ziggler hitting their finishers on, Kane and Big Show before Sting getting his finisher in and getting the pinfall. And then 1, 2, 3, Stinger's getting the victory. And we now know at Payback that Dolph Ziggler will defend his not Dolph Ziggler. What the hell am I saying? Seth Rollins will defend his WWE Championship against the Stinger. And a lot of storylines progressing here, of course. Rusev's improving in Rumble, and that ends off the show. And we got a 73 B-, increasing our popularity in 19 regions, decreasing in 16. What a bummer. I'm actually heavily considering turning off the owner goals, because not only do I feel the international is unreachable, because we're not even increasing popularity, which might change, to be fair. But right now, it's not looking good. But I'm also worried about Orton. I hate that one rule where you have to keep them above a certain momentum. And I just hate that rule so much because it's just like, freak, man. I got to babysit them, And I don't know. I don't like that because I get worried, I can just have them lose one match and next thing you know, they're freaking, you failed that objective. Man, dude, all these people retiring actually beat us. Much I guess that's something. You want to steal Gamma from Dragon Gate? The 41... Yeah. What did Dolph Ziggler say? What an interesting fact. He enjoys his first match with a new promotion. Well, you're not leaving, so it's a shame because you're not ever going to really experience that. Did you get frustrated I left you off Raw? Only SmackDown. Anyone ever frustration? Nope. Emails? Down, down, down. Ratings going down, 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 down. That's fine. What's decisions here? Oh, Ryan. Oh, no, Ryan. Ryback. Oh, Ryback-a-roni and cheese. For a second, I thought it was like, oh, we did contract negotiations. And I saw it was an incident. What do we got here? Ryback has been identified as a steroid user. Suspended. It's your only option. You have to be suspended. With things like Benoit happening, Nerds and Geeks, and Eddie Guerrero, I believe it was steroids with Eddie. I mean, I know he had a heart failure, but I believe steroids played a part in that heart failure. I gotta suspend you, Ryback, which sucks because that's Stardust's storyline, but we'll play with it. Sorry, Ryback. He hears you out and then leaves looking irritated. Well, I mean, shut up. Shouldn't have done steroids. Is he angry? He's not angry, so interesting. Look, let me see this. Ryan Reeves. He's pleased. Huh. He's pleased. I guess we handled that right. Even Ryback was like, yeah, I understand. Well, good. Round of applause. All right, let's look at storylines before we end off this episode. AJ and Paige not doing too good. Cesaro and Kid doing really well, or should I say Uppercuts and Uso? We should just change that name. Let's do that real quick. the Upper Cats versus the Usos. Um, oh, I thought that was a D. I thought this one was a D plus. Wow, why is Bryan and Barrett doing worse? That's interesting. I wonder why. Maybe because Cena did the promo too. Probably. Um, was doing better, but what can you do? Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt actually. I think. Wow. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt is like one of our hotter storylines right now, along with Miz and Mizdow. That's kind of embarrassing. Meanwhile, Banks and Charlotte let's just end this. All right, Nerds and Geeks, that's going to do it from Monday Night Raw. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, my name is OMGWTF, FTWBRB, and I'll see you guys for Friday Night SmackDown. So until then, have a wonderful day.